Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Slinging Dirt. I seem to say that every week, but I should come up with a new line for this show, you know, instead of good evening, everyone. Welcome to Slinging Dirt. But anyway, welcome to the show again, everyone. On the panel again tonight is our one of the best commentators that I've heard on the commentary is Mr. Alan Rourke. Welcome, Rourke.
Mate, all this these accolades, how much money are you going to send me a bill for it?
Mate? You'll have to start paying the invoices, mate. I'll keep sending them to you, but I don't get no money. What's going on?
Well, I don't know how you're sending them.
Oh, I must. You don't check your emails, so that's probably why.
Email? Mate, you've just got to put it on the telex machine. I'm thinking about getting modern and going with the fax.
Excellent, excellent. And our special guest tonight is up-and-coming Superstand driver, Jake Wessing. Have I got that right, Jake? Your last name?
So it's Jake Wessing.
Wessing, Jake Wessing. Yeah. See there, I thought
double
I got
S,
it wrong.
not double E.
Ah, right, yeah. Welcome to the show, Jake, anyway, mate.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
But it is a common mistake from a lot of people that don't hear the name often.
It's not a common name, is it?
No, it's German.
Oh, well, that explains
as far as I know.
Yeah, right, that explains it, because I haven't seen many names like that before. Well, I haven't seen that last name before, so, you know,
it's not common. There is a fair few of us out there, but it's not a real common name around.
It's like Joe.
You don't think it's common? Like Jake hears it all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Superstand drivers have weird last names. You look at Joe Brykoff. Like, how many Brykoffs have you heard around the place?
Not a lot.
There's just not many of them. And same with your last name. There's not many of them.
But there's only one Super Joe, isn't there?
Yes, there is. And if he is watching, big shout out to Joe. He'll be back this weekend, first meeting of the year. So it'll be good to see him back on the track. Rourke, what a absolute unreal Gene Cook Memorial we had to start off the first ever Gene Cook Memorial. Like, it was absolutely outstanding, and hats off to the Carrick Speedway promoters, staff, track crew, the lot. It got washed out on Friday, and then Saturday they said, right, we'll run 2 nights of racing in one day. And the track was outstanding. The event was outstanding, and like I said, hats off to all the people who were involved. It was an absolutely outstanding event.
Yeah, the only downside, and I did see a complaint from a couple of the Tassie Six guys, they didn't get to run their final, but you can't blame the track for that.
No,
there were just so many incidents, some people overdriving, and because it's a new event, they all wanted to, do exceptionally well. And we had so many stoppages throughout the afternoon and the evening.
Yep.
That's where that time went, and sadly, Carrick is on very thin ice, so they can't go over that curfew, even for a prestigious event like the inaugural Gene Cook.
So, they got them on a pretty tight ship, haven't they?
Yeah, they definitely do. Yep. And for all those people out there, the time is 11 o'clock at night. They have to be finished. And it doesn't matter whether we've only done 2 laps of an A main. If that 11 o'clock comes, that's it. We have to stop. And the reason we have to do that is because of the houses around it and all that, That's just the way it is. And if we don't stick to that time limit, we are at jeopardy of losing the track. So we need to stick pretty much to that time limit. We can't go over it. But
exactly right.
Great results. And fill us in, Rourke. Who won all the big ones, mate?
Well, Ben Riley was the winner of the currently printing 2020. It was a cracking race. Jaden Russell led the most laps and literally drove the wheels off it, as they said. Great job. But in the super sedans, wow, what a opening to the Mad Month of Money. Just some of Australia's best going at it. And they weren't, just taking it easy. They were rubbing panels, banging wheels, really going for it. Had the whip turned right up. Jake, you were in the middle of it. Brock Atkins, how quick was that guy?
Yeah, no, it's pretty unreal to see somebody. I think I was in one of Brock's heats, and that thing was just sticking to the ground like crazy. He can put it anywhere. He actually reminds me of a lot of Callum when you're out there racing with Callum.
Yeah.
He can put his car 5 mil and not touch it.
Yeah.
And it's just how it is. And I think Cal had a bit of an off night late in the final, purely just because of all the other stuff that happened and the car spinning, and he got caught up there a little bit. But I think he'll be on it this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, if he's there, he's always on it, isn't he? He's always a chance.
Yeah.
He doesn't turn up just to make up the numbers.
Yeah, there was a lot of cars damaged on the weekend, and honestly, with the cars number count for this weekend, I was really surprised we would see a lot of them back because there was a lot of damage.
Yeah, there was some big damage too.
Hats off to all the drivers for getting these cars all fixed this week and getting them back on the track for the Grand Prix coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
But Brock Atkins ended up taking out the first Gene Cook Memorial, Rocky.
Yes, and it was an all mainland podium. So Brock Atkins from Victoria, Mick Nicola, our old mate Mick Nicola, he's been coming to Tassie for, I don't know, since last century, 30 odd years. He just continues to come down here. I don't know what it is about Carrick, but Mick just always lifts the game.
He does, doesn't he?
Carrick. He's won a lot of big races there. And of course, Michael Halley, the quick Queenslander, rounded out the podium from back to Dave Nichols and Callum Harper. Lee Aylett was sixth, then Luke Gunn, Chris Gallagher, Wayne Dillon, Matt Crawford and Andrew Pope round out the top finishers.
They were about the only cars that finished too, were they?
Yeah, there wasn't many.
Yeah. I think it was about that,
Yeah, I think we started with 20 in the AMA, and I think we only ended up with half the field finishing. So
yeah, it was only 10 that finished. Yeah, Poggy finished on lap 32.
Yep.
Didn't make the 41 laps. I did love the 13 lap heats and the 41 lap final. I thought that was a fitting tribute.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a big hats off to Scott Piper for bringing out the Gene Cook Memorial car that he's been putting together in the background. Not many people knew about it. A few of us did, but not many people did. And he parked it up on the Victory Lane mound for the second, both nights, but the second night it was there. And the car looked absolutely pristine. Like, hats off to Scott for putting the car together and getting it out there and showing it off. It really did add just that little bit more character to the event, I thought. And
a bit earlier on in the day, they had it parked in the pits there in the dummy grid where they do the scrutineering, and I went over and had a good look at it, and man, he's put some time and effort into that thing.
Paul, hasn't he?
Yeah, hats off to him.
At the end of the meeting, he was having a quick chat to Lockie, Spider and Hoss, because they were working on that car back in the day, and they went, this should change and that should change. I'll see if I can find you some dates. So, he's, like, rather than rest on his laurels, keen to actually make it as accurate as possible. Yep. To me, it just looked as good as the original.
Yeah, well, I've actually got photos of the original. We looked at them at in the shed on Saturday night when we got home, and it is pretty much spot on. There's not a few. There's a few little differences, but not much. Like, you'd have to really look to pick it. So, and you look at it and think, they raced these things back in the day. No containment seats, no window nets, and they survived, like it's...
No Hans devices.
No.
I think balaclavas were just coming in.
And big hats off to Scott and the whole crew of putting that car together. It was great. Also, results from the weekend, we had new stars, Maddox Wells. Got is that right, Maddox? Is that
Maddox? That's
Wells.
And what a great drive from young Maddox.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Win on the New Stars on the Saturday night with Levi Kane winning the Top Stars. On the Friday night we had Caleb Alexander win the New Stars and Brooklyn Thompson getting another win in the Top Stars. So congratulations to all those winners. And as you said, Rocky, there was no Tassie 6 final because of times, and we had the junior 500s that were out there as well. They did a few demo laps, which was good to see them back out there. And the Formula 500s decided not to race on the second night because of a few little things, but we don't need to go into them. So, well, let's talk to you, Jake. How are you settling in, mate?
Oh, mate, it actually has been really awesome. Like, with the guys that are racing around me, and I'm so much slower than those guys, but I've had a chat with most of them, and a lot of them just say to me, like, as long as you're keeping your line and you stay out of trouble and just try and be as good as you can where you can. Mm-hmm. So I try and do that, and like people with like Kevin Burton chats to him, and he said, like, just keep your line. They'll go around you if they're fast enough. And every now and then I've sort of found myself almost in the way of the front runners. So I sort of just moved the car up because I don't want to stop any actual racing or me to be the cause of somebody gets a pass here or a pass there. So when I get a chance, then I can sort of feel and you can sort of hear where cars are. Sort of try and move it up out of the way. I haven't bothered trying to do that the weekend just gone purely because I feel like that I should start putting my foot into it a little bit more now that Cody and Des have put a fair bit of time into the car and got the car feeling a lot more comfortable. But yeah, absolutely loving it and enjoying it. It's become a pretty massive addiction.
Well, you started with the old Gil Aylett car. That was a fantastic learning base.
Yeah,
and then, you know, with some help from Gil. Gil's been around, a good guy, knows a lot of stuff and pointing in the right direction. And then you took the plunge and bought a new chassis.
Yeah, it was not a new one. I brought it off Aaron Dillon. So I had that car off Gil and it had that thumping great big engine in it. And I've spoke to a few people and they said about getting through the old leaf spring sort of setup. It's pretty pointless having that great big engine and not being able to get all that power to the ground, and you're losing a lot. So we sort of sent the engine away, got that all fixed up, and while it was away, I spoke with Aaron to build me a new body for the old rocket, and he said, "Oh, actually, I'm starting to think about selling mine." I said, "Well, what is it?" and all that, and I rang Des and spoke to Des because I bounced everything off Des because I know very little about the sport. Even though I've been around it for so long, when Desi was racing, when Chris started racing, and then Brad started racing, I sort of started jumping in and helping Brad, and then I said to Des about wanting to race. So then Des sort of took me in a little bit and he'll show me why he was doing bits and pieces on Brad's car, and I was getting pretty inquisitive. And through the business, I do sponsor a fair few other cars, which I find I get a real good enjoyment out of it by helping others out. And I always have done. It's not just for Speedway, it's the same with like junior cricket that I sponsor, football, all that sort of stuff, to help everyone else out is really good. But I feel like that's all starting to come back to me with the time that Des spends with me, that Chris spends with me, that Cody spends. Like he's had me shocks and springs and everything and smashing them all those. And not only that, like the other guys that are jumping in and giving me a hand now is just unbelievable. And like the appreciation that comes out of that is immense, especially the amount of time that it takes up. Like my wife and the kids, they are making sacrifices without having really to know it because I'm up in the shed all the time now, whereas I never really used to be. Unless Chris or unless Brad had a bit of a bingle, or we'd try and work some stuff out and I'd go down and help that. But it's just awesome to be around everyone that's racing now, and they've all been really good with me because everyone knows that I'm only learning, and I think it's a pretty big step to go from not racing a thing in my life, except for doing a little bit of dirt bike stuff, to sort of jump into a super, because what we initially was going to do is turn that Gil's car into a Tassie 6, and Des and Chris said, "Why?" I was like, "Well, I'll go with what you say."
Yep. So why did you choose super sedans to begin with, Jake?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. I actually looked upon a late model before that, purely just because that was sort of what was available. And I had a quick chat to Gil up at Latrobe one night, and he said, "Well, I'm thinking about hanging the boots up, and I want to do it at Latrobe." I said, "Oh, I'm pretty keen to get into it." We worked out a bit of a deal, and I went home with Brad on the Saturday night, I think. And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if it was I drove back up the next day to get the car or it was the weekend after. But yeah, I was pretty keen to get into it.
That's the trouble. Once bit, it's got you, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly right. Well, I've been involved with Speedway a fair bit over the years, on and off with Chris and Desi when Desi was racing. And then Chris obviously got into the Tas sedans, and then went from the Tas sedans to the Super, and then wingless, and then sprint car.
Yeah.
I didn't do a whole lot with Chris when he was in the sprint car. Obviously, I was always at the racetrack, but not really in the pits. And that's when my wife, I think, started getting a bit of a taste for it, because she really loves and enjoys watching the racing, which is obviously a good thing for me, because it's time together and it's good fun as well. So,
excellent. So, first season, how many meetings have you done now?
So I've done 4 last season, and I've done all the races this season so far. So what are we up to now? I've got it written on the board over there somewhere in the office here. Was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I think I've done 10 meetings all up.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're not doing too bad for someone that's only done 10 meetings, mate. I've seen a lot of speedway drivers get into these things and they're either got it or they haven't. And I really do think that you're going to get it there eventually. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, just try to creep up on it a little bit, I think, without trying to build too many massive expectations. And then you feel your way through it and you feel the speed coming on. And everyone just keeps saying to me, the more laps you do, the quicker you're going to get.
Yep.
And it's also being comfortable with the car, because the car now is sort of a bit of a bitzer. It's got a rocket front end and it's got a sweet 3-link in it in the back end. So we're still trying to feel that out and work out what works for the car, but also what makes me feel comfortable.
Yep.
So there's a lot of work that goes into it, but not just from me, from, like I said, Cody and Dazzle Lennox, one of my mates. It's literally just finished welding up the chassis on it from the weekend. I just literally picked it up. Des, Chris, all those guys that spend so much time up in the shed, especially the old man, like he's been doing plenty of hours in the shed with me, plenty of hours at the track, and he really loves it. So that's good to be able to spend that time together as well with Dad. It's not, when you get into this sport, you don't really realise how much time you throw out, not throw out the door, but you spend away from family.
Yep.
So when you get that chance to spend the time with family, especially with Dad, it is nice. I mean, I know the kids and the wife are sacrificing a little bit of time with me, but at the end of the day, hopefully I can drag them into it, because I've literally just built a pretty good sized go-kart track at home. It's 230 metres on the pole line, so I play a track for the go-karts, and it's got some pretty wild banking. So we're trying to get the young bloke into that.
Well, it's interesting. Like, I was listening to a podcast about Formula One from one of the driving coaches in Europe, and he said at the end of last season he was on a flight, and this guy who was obviously not short of money was on the same flight, and goes, "You're Liam Lawson's driving coach, and you've also done this, and this." And the guy, and he looked at him and said, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "My son's turned 6. How do I get him to Formula One?" He said, "What's the first step?" He said, "How many years has he been racing dirt bikes?" And he goes, "He hasn't done anything." He said, "Get him on a dirt bike."
Yeah.
That's the foundation. You learn more about sliding, car control, throttle control, all those sort of things off a dirt bike. And then get into karts and go from there. Yeah. But I found that quite interesting.
Yeah, so I've had dirt bikes my whole life, and spent a lot of time on them, done some stupid shit on them that I never want to see my kids do. I suppose if you speak to Chris or Desi and that in the pits, the people that really know me, they'll give you some pretty wild stories of back in the day.
I might just have to have a chat to Desi at the weekend.
But I survived it, I think. But I think it's helping being and spending so much time on the dirt bikes. Like I only had a KXF 450 2021, 21 model, not all that long ago, and I only sort of just sold it and bought the kids' mini bikes. And then as soon as I sold my bike, they just stopped riding theirs.
They want 4 wheels now, not 2.
Yeah.
So how many broken bones have we had, Jake, over the years?
I've had, well, including football, I've broken just about every finger on my hands. Dislocated shoulders, broken femur bone. Yeah, that was nasty. But I was only 8 then. I think I was 8, yeah, on a push bike.
Yeah, right,
yeah, I haven't done too bad for considering some of the stupid shit that I've done over the years.
Especially for riding a motocross bike. Most blokes I talk to with motocross bikes, because I have a bit to do with the Penguin motocross track up here. Yeah, they've had a few broken bones off them motorbikes over the years, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, that's why I sold mine, because I realised that I've got a little heavier and I don't bounce anymore. I don't bounce and roll anymore. I just hit the ground and splat.
Yeah. And what's your thoughts on the mainlanders, mate? Like, we've got some of the best. We've got the best drivers in the country in Tasmania, and we've had the best come down from the mainland. What are your thoughts about racing the mainland boys, mate?
Oh, it's amazing, to be honest. Just to get that opportunity to race against those type of drivers and not really put myself up against them, because I'm not anywhere near their capabilities, purely from experience and probably also car. But it's amazing. I get a little bit sad because I'm such a race fan and I don't get to watch many races anymore.
Yep.
So
Well, you got one of the best seats in the house to watch some of it.
Yeah, well, generally they're all in front of me and then going around and then catching back up and going past. So you do get a good feel for it out there. Like my goal is hoping to make one of their mains in this month. I know it's a big ask, but that would be a tick in my box if I could make one of those. But as far as watching those guys go around in circles, you don't really get much better than Callum Harper anyway. And not only that, like you got Gunny, all that, they're all so fast.
Yep.
And then it seems as though they all lift a little when they're all here.
Yep.
And it's the same with Chris. When Chris has been back racing, been out of racing for 6 or 7 years, and when we went to the practice day down at Hobart, he was pretty much bang on the pace straight away. And through Des's knowledge and Chris's knowledge coming together, like the car seems to be really good. I think he lacked a little bit of forward drive that we spoke about during the week after the weekend, but I'm pretty sure they've got that nutted out. Des is a bit of a wizard when it comes to working shit out. So
that was my next question. That was my next question. Actually, how smart is Desi?
Yeah, he's.
Des Gallagher's no slouch.
No, definitely not.
He's a very, very clever man in a lot of different aspects.
Yeah.
And especially like with the race cars, he just, if he finds something that he wants to think or learn, he drills right down into it.
Yep.
And he doesn't go, oh, this part does that. He goes, why does it do that? Why does it need to go here? And why? Like he's very, very clever with all that sort of stuff. And Chris is the same. Like Chris, it's rubbed off on Chris. So Chris can literally just relay what the car feels on the track and say, I need to do this with the car. I need the car to do this. And Des will just go bang, bang, bang. And it gets a bit more there and it's a bit more there. Whereas, because I'm so new to it, I can't even really relay to Des how the cars feel. I don't know if the car's good or bad.
Yep.
I'm just relying on them, what they can see, how I'm driving. And a lot of the times I turn in a little early and it makes the car push, and every now and then I'll get the line right and I'll get through the corner pretty well, or I'll come in too late and then I'm sliding up in the marbles and then I'm off the gas trying to get it to turn. And
Yeah.
But it's just all a massive learning curve for me, and I keep speaking to everyone like Coney, Brad, Desi, everyone. All they keep saying is it's just laps, man. Like you just got to keep doing laps.
You got pretty good people in your back pocket, you know. Darren Kane, you know, look how many Australian titles he's won and how many races he's won, you know. Like,
Yeah.
And being a Tasmanian, he knows these tracks pretty good. And yes, he is a Tasmanian. He is not a Queenslander. For all those people out there, he's a Tasmanian. And, you know, Desi, the brains of the business with, you know, there's not much that he can't set up and get to go fast, that's for sure. So you've definitely got the right people in your back pocket.
Yeah, and it's awesome to be able to bounce stuff off people like them. Because, like I said, I don't know enough about the sport to be trying to do all this sort of stuff myself or make changes to the car too much. Especially the same with Cody. He just drills down into stuff. He studies shocks and all that sort of stuff. And everything to do with the race cars, he just... I don't know, for a kid at that age, he's just got so much knowledge in this sport.
Yeah, it's amazing how these young fellas have got the knowledge now, isn't it?
Yeah.
And anyone would think they had access to the internet or something.
Yeah, well, that's true. True.
But it's
amazing what you can actually learn from YouTube on how to set up a dirt car. There's so many cool videos from the States. And lots of people I've been talking to have been, you know, studying those in the off-season.
Yeah. Quite often Des will send me something here and there, like especially with the trail braking when I first got into it. He said, just sit down and watch it over and over and over and over and over, learning how to trail brake the car into the corner. And I still haven't got that down to pat. But it's just laps. So,
what's always amazed me with you blokes is you just go out there, you just come straight out the gate, you just haven't been on the track at all, and it's just straight into turn one and hook it in. Like, it just amazes me the trust that you have got in your cars, your driving capabilities, and the track surface. Like that would be a lot to deal with, wouldn't it? You're thinking, oh, am I going to go in the wall, or am I going to go around the corner?
Yeah. So when I first drove the car at Gills, the first time I drove it out of my shed and reversed it back into my shed, and then the first time I drove it properly more than 100 metres was out onto the racetrack. That was a pretty cool feeling. Just going, what's going to happen?
Yeah, no, that amazes me. The trust that you have in them cars, it's absolutely credit to all of you. Do you have a
Yes.
favourite track, Jake, in Tassie? Which one's your track that you like the most?
I'd have to say Hobart.
Yep.
Not for any reason other than it's close to home.
Yeah.
I'm literally 5 minutes from the track.
Yep. Yep.
And obviously grew up going there all the time as a kid, and then going there all the time with Chris and Desi, and watching a lot of the race. And I know 90% of the people that go as well. So if I come out of the pits during the night, if there's a big break in between my heat and my first heat and my next heat or something like that, and I go up on the bank. Generally, I've got a lot of family there as well, just through wanting to support me and get behind me and sing out my name, I guess. Not that I'm going to hear them, but that would be the reason why. It's just purely because of the people that are at the track.
Yep. No, awesome answer.
Nice.
So
It's a brilliant complex. There's no doubt about it.
yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I do love it. The track. I feel like the track's good as well. I feel like I can drive a little bit faster there. Not that I know the track better, but it's just feels not like home, but you know what I mean. Like it's just
You're
more
comfy.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Comfortable there. Yeah.
And of course, it's a lot flatter than what Carrick and Latrobe is, isn't it? It's not as banked as
Yeah.
what they are.
Yeah.
Which would make a hell of a difference, that's for sure. So what are we expecting? I know you said you'd like to make the A main, so what are we hoping to get out of the rest of the season, Jacob?
Look, my goal starting at the start of this season, I did say to Dad, I said I'd like to make an A main in the Mad Month, because I've been waiting for this Mad Month to come up for so long. Ever since I'd done it with Brad last year, just helping him out, and then I brought that car, I said, I cannot wait for this Mad Month, just to be in the atmosphere. And it is really cool to be out there amongst all those guys. From someone that's never really raced anything in their life to being able to drive out on the track at some point with some of Australia's best. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Callum and Beachy and Gunny and all those guys, like it's cool to be out there amongst all those guys, really it is.
They're on it, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, man.
I feel sorry for Luke Gunn. He got best presented car, then goes out and more or less bins it.
Yeah.
I felt so sorry for him, but congratulations to the Gun team for getting best presented.
The effort to go into doing that, and the cost to have that car look like that. I like to have my car look pretty tip top as well. But I've sort of given up on the right door at the moment after the weekend. I'm hoping to have a new one on it for Hobart Grand National, but we'll see how that goes as long as all the stars line up.
Yeah, and a big congratulations to Luke Gunn and the whole team for winning Best Presented. There is some very nice cars out there at the moment, and hats off to all the drivers for making their cars look absolutely brilliant. But well done Luke Gunn and the team for getting Best Presented at the Gene Cook Memorial. And I think that's a great idea. I think we should have a Best Presented at every single major event. I think it just adds a little bit extra to the event, and the cars really do look good, so hats off to all of them out there.
And it was so good that Jean's wife, Rosalie, was there to hand out that trophy and do the presentations as well, so that was fantastic.
And the trophies, how good were they at the end of the A main? Like, they were absolutely outstanding.
Brilliant.
Hats off to the whole Carrick team there for getting them trophies together. I seen them as I was down on the infield for the presentations, and they looked really nice. Like I said, congratulations to all the winners. We are off to Latrobe this weekend, Rocky.
Oh, yeah, the 51st running of Australia's richest super sedan race. Now, it has not always been Australia's richest super sedan race. It started as it, and partway through it had a couple of years where it did go to sprint cars. Mm-hmm. A lot of people forget that, but it's been pretty much a super sedan race since the turn of the century. It's been phenomenal, just brilliant racing. We've got Lucas Roberts, Joel Berkeley, Brad Pascoe, Callum Harper, Dave Nichols, Mick Nicola Sr., Marcus Alexander, Lee Aylett, Zach Pascoe, the Joker, the Jetson boys, they're in there, Steve Latham. Some bloke, Jake, how do I pronounce that? That bloke, Jake Wessing, he's in there. There's the number 11. Looking forward to seeing how that goes, because Yeah, I've seen some big improvements from it. I reckon there's a chance you'll make that aim, eh?
I really hope so. I mean, it always comes down to your heats as well, and your heat draws and all that sort of stuff. And if you drop a heat, it makes it super difficult.
Yeah.
And with somebody with my experience, if I drop a heat, it's not as if I'm going to go out there and win a heat to pick that up. Sort of like Chris did on the weekend. He dropped a heat, but then he won a heat, so that helped him get in there quite easily. And I think I finished 28th out of the 32 cars, so I'm not disappointed with that by any means. I mean, I feel like I could have been a lot further up if I didn't drag the side or the back end off Ellis's car. But at the end of the day, that's just racing, and we're not out there to just huddle around. Like, these things, they're fast, and unless you try and drive them fast, they don't react the way they're supposed to react.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing, they're not designed to cruise around the track. They're designed to go at race pace.
That's right. And the engines aren't really happy unless they're revving up over 6,000 or 7,000 RPMs. So.
And neither the frame or the suspension working properly either.
Yeah,
the whole steering geometry's designed to have that forward bite and side bite, that load on it.
And that's a little bit of the trouble that I've been having, is not driving the car hard enough at certain times, and that's why it's creating push, or it's leaning over the wrong way, and that's all stuff that I'm really learning. But I felt like I picked it up a little bit on the weekend, so hopefully we can take another step and go a little bit better and stay clean for the first night and for the heats on the second night. And hopefully that holds us in good stead for points.
37, there's a couple of Queenslanders joining, John Black and Harry Doyle, as well as Brock Atkins, who came and dominated the Gene Cook. Bill Barton from the West, he's also there. And the quick Queenslander, Michael Halley, third place on the Gene Cook. He's always there and thereabouts, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Well, even watching a few of his races a few weeks before, and as he was sort of starting to travel down, his car's quick.
Yeah. And a hell of a nice guy.
Yeah. I haven't spoken to him in the pits yet, but from all reports, seems like a pretty decent dude. So.
And Callum will be back after his little escapade on Saturday night. How unlucky was he for his bonnet to flick up and block all vision from where he was going? Like, that doesn't happen very often in Super Stand racing. So
So I had a crash. It was a couple of weeks ago, and the same thing happened to me. Bonnet come up, and it's real difficult to see. And they ended up infielding me a bit later on, but I think I done 4 or 5 laps because I just wanted to finish the race. And I done 4 or 5 laps, sort of just watching out to the left quarter and sort of trying to be out of the way the car's coming around, but determine how far I was away from the infield before I hit the wall, because I couldn't really see the wall until I was about a metre away from it. So I was just trying to determine that. And it was just literally just trying to do laps. It wasn't a benefit to me at all doing laps like that, but I really just wanted to finish the race. So I know how he feels, and at the speed that he does, that would have been pretty unnerving, I would imagine.
And we did forget one mainlander rookie, Campbell Eilert, all the way from WA. He wouldn't be a young fella anymore, there's no doubt about that. And for him to, come all the way to Tassie to mix it with, a lot of the older blokes as well, Mick Nicola and Dave Nichols, it's good to see these older boys out there mixing it up with the young fellas and still going quite well. David was very unlucky last week, I thought.
Yeah.
That last stop, his car sort of went off by the looks of it, and he sort of went backwards. But they're always up there, aren't they, these old boys? They don't seem to fade away.
Well, Campbell's been, started his racing career at La Trobe, Gulf West Independent Oils Raceway, and is always quick. And it's so good to see him when he does come back. He's been mates with Cam for a long, long time. Ripper bloke, a lot of knowledge there.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
So Campbell was actually at the track the night that I brought Gill's car.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was actually working on Gill's car that night, helping him change tyres and bits and pieces. So I'm looking forward to seeing him run with Lee. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, I reckon the Berkeley crew would have had a lot of work this week. I seen that car pretty close up after that big crash down the back straight of Carrick, and that car did not look healthy at all. So for them to get that car back out on the track, that's a big credit to them, because there would have been a lot of work involved. Is Adam Beachy nominated? I'm not sure.
Yes, he is.
He is.
Yeah,
So once
he's in,
again,
yeah.
you know, his car was majorly damaged there on Saturday night as well. So hats off to them too.
He got it back
getting
out for
their
the
car.
feature.
Oh,
Yeah.
he did too. That's right. He did. Sorry. Yep.
Them guys went hammer and tong and got that put back together.
Yep.
Would pretty much put a whole back end in that car between that and the feature.
Yeah, I forgot he made the feature still. See,
Yeah. That's
busy
pretty
doing
wild,
other
getting
things.
all that work done to how that car looked when it got dragged off the track.
Yeah, no, they do a great job, these pit crew boys. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
work their butts off when they're in the pits. You see
Yeah.
them underneath the cars, and they don't care how dirty they get. They just want to see that race car back out on the track. So a big credit to all the teams for getting all these cars
Yeah, honestly,
back
like,
out there.
as far as working on cars and stuff, it's so much easier being a driver if you've got guys there to help you with the car. But
Yep.
generally, when you leave the racetrack after a night working on a car, I was always more destroyed doing that than what I was as ever a driver.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of drivers that leave the track with a damaged car, and even though they don't have to race until the following weekend, they'll go straight home and start pulling it apart straight away and start working
Yeah.
on it. Like
Yeah.
that's a lot. That's a lot to do that sort of thing all the time. As you said, Jacob, it takes a lot of family time away, and you've got to have a good
Yeah.
family to sort of support you in this sort of racing, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And your kids, mate, where are they heading? Are they going to head to the? Are they going to kick Dad out of the super sedan eventually?
I don't know. I'd love to see him get into it. I really would, because I think it's a good thing for kids to start coming through. Like, look at some of the juniors that get around in there, and even young Seth McMaster. Like, he spent a couple of years with his dad now, helping out on the car and doing bits and pieces, and now he's got his own go-kart, and you know, he's getting along all right, and he's doing really well. So I'd like to see Ollie and Mills
Yep.
sort of get through that as well.
Yep.
That was why I built the racetrack, just to literally get them out of the house and give them something else to do.
Can you race?
And-
This,
Not only that, I'll definitely have a go-kart myself.
so can you get the super sedan on the little track you've made?
I would nearly get it round, I reckon.
There's method in your madness there, mate.
Yeah, it'd be close.
I
Wouldn't be
remember-
obviously at a high speed, but I think you'd sort of get around it pretty okay.
Yeah, Pikey, when he was racing the late models, he built a track up on his property, and it wasn't a bad little track, and I'll tell you what, it helped him out with his driving, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I reckon it's 230 around the pole line, and it's about 5.5 metres wide.
Yeah.
So, you know, you probably pick up another 60 or 70 metres there in length, and it's pretty well banked.
Yeah.
It'd be from the pole line up to the top of the lip, a good 1,500 mil, so about 1.5 metre banking.
That's not too
That's
bad.
decent.
That's decent
Yeah.
banking, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Also on the program this weekend, we've got street stocks, mods, AMCAs, Formula 500s and Formula 500 juniors on the Friday night, and on the Saturday night we've got super sedans, street stocks, wingless, AMCAs, Formula 500s again, and karts. On the Friday night, gates open at 3, pit walk at 4:45, racing will be at 6. On the Saturday night, gates open at 3 again, karts will be on track at 4, pit walk 4:45, and racing again at 6 o'clock. And I've also been told there's a bit of fireworks going on the Saturday night too. So
Right.
if you've got your horses and your cows around the property, make sure you've got them locked up, because it's
Yeah.
going to go off with a bang, this race meet. And 13 mainlanders come down to match with the best we've got in Tasmania and Australia. You know, like it's... And Callum's going to be out for a vengeance, so I don't care what anyone says. Callum Harper
Absolutely.
does not like losing in Tasmania. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
and not only like Beachy, who was so fast early
Yep.
on in the night, I think he's going to want to put in a pretty big effort as well.
Yeah.
Chris, I know he's going to want to put in a big effort as well. There's just some of the Jetson boys. I think Jacob and Corey are going to be, they'll be up there this weekend, I would imagine,
for
because
sure.
they've put a fair bit of effort into these cars this week that I know. I speak to Corey a fair bit, so
Yep.
I reckon they'll be up there as well. But it's just like, who do you pick?
Yeah.
You can't pull a name out of there anyway. You're better off putting them all in a hat and just drawing them out of a hat.
Yeah, okay, like you said
And
earlier.
you probably have a lot more accuracy.
Yeah.
Although I did pick Brock Atkins to win the Gene Cook Memorial. He was in my top 5 that I thought would
Yep.
win it. So I did pick him last week, but I'm not going to say who
Mind you, just between you and I, Jake, he had all 32 drivers in his top 5. You know, he wasn't mucking around. He was making sure his
He's
head
trying to cover
his
off.
bet.
Yeah,
he
he's trying to
wasn't
cover
gonna-
up everything.
Yeah.
There's so many boys that are in form at the moment. You know, Brock.
Yeah.
You know, Callum, Joel. You know, Mick Nicoli can never ride him off. You know, I felt sorry.
Dave Nichols.
Yep.
He's so quick.
I felt sorry.
Grant Hopkins is another one who's on his night
Actually,
off.
Hoppy done a good job.
Yeah.
On the weekend, he's done a real good job.
Brad Pascoe, he's due to bounce back. You know, he didn't have a real good Gene Cook Memorial, so he'll bounce back again this weekend. And he loves Latrobe. He's won it there a few times. So he
I think Brad McMaster he'll be up there too if the track doesn't go.
Yep.
But I think he's due to be up the front. Like he's been pretty hard on himself. I speak to Brad quite a bit too, and he's been pretty hard on himself as well. But the company that he's in is insane, and to be where he is, for the amount of experience that he's got, is pretty wild.
And a big shout out to Steve Jordan, mate. He comes down here every year. 9 times out of 10, he's either got one pit crew or none.
Yeah.
I think he's got one person helping him out the whole mad month that he's down here. And to get the damage he did on Saturday there, and to still get the car back out there, you know, like, hats off to him. He just does not give up, does he? He bounces
And he
back.
does love this track. He's won an Australian title here, and he has won this event here. Back in the day. So
he was parked next to me on the weekend, and he literally was non-stop on that car until it was up and going.
Yeah, and such a nice bloke, like absolute legend of a bloke.
Yeah, just so cruisy, relaxed.
Yep.
He didn't look stressed at all when he got out of the car. Him and the young fellow that was helping him, they just plodded along, got it done, and all of a sudden, with the cars that dropped out, he was in no money.
Yeah.
So away he went.
That's.
I actually think he would have made it on points anyway because of. I think he came 4th or 5th in the heat.
I think he dropped the first heat though, didn't he? Where he had all that damage.
Yeah, he got DNF in the first heat, so he still got his points for the DNF.
Yep.
And then he got 4th or 5th in another heat, which helped him get over the line to get into the main. And to sit there and just do that in that sort of weather, like it was pissing with rain. The day before, and then obviously when we all got to the track, it was still drizzling here and there, and he didn't stop. He just kept it going, and he got it fixed before the main. He had it fixed before we done the Grand Parade.
It was great. Like, hats off to them. You know, they do such a big job, these boys, to get the cars back on the track. You know, and it's not a cheap exercise. It's a very expensive exercise with the amount of damage that was caused last weekend. And I don't think this weekend will be any different. I think it'll be sheep stations again, because there's a lot of money up for grabs. You know, like, what do you say, Rocky? $114,000 over 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, that's not money to be sneezed at.
$43,000.
Yeah.
That would have went out the window again in damage.
Pretty much.
So you've got a whole heap of past winners in it too. Like Sean Black has won this event. Brad Pascoe's won it. They both won it once. Then you've got Mick Nicola Sr., who's in fine form. He's won it twice. Dave Nichols has won it twice. Callum Harper, he's won it 4 times.
4 times, right. There wouldn't be many blokes who've won it 4 times, would there?
He's the only one that's won it 4 times.
He's the only one.
You've got a couple of 3-time winners.
Yep.
In his dad and his granddad, Jared and Neville, both won it 3 times. Kevin Purton won it 3 times. Matty Pascoe's won it 3 times. And for a while there, it was Callum, Matty, Callum.
Yeah.
They're alternating, taking turns.
They had a good battle there for a few years.
About coming second or worse the next year.
Yeah. And
it's pretty strange, man, in these blue ribbon events down here, and not having Coney and Matt Pascoe in the car.
It's weird, isn't it?
So it just feels strange.
Yeah, it does. It is a shame not to have Matty Pascoe and Darren out there, because that'd just throw another spanner in the works, wouldn't it? You know.
This event did take Darren a long time to win.
He won
literally everything. Multiple Australian champs. Finally got the win back last year.
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah. It was.
And you're pretty chuffed with that too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was the only one he didn't have. So.
He drove awesome.
He certainly did. And if you can't get to the track this weekend, which you should, I really emphasise you should be at the track, because, like I said, support your bloody local tracks, because without you people putting your bums on the seats, we can't do these events. But if you can't get there, we are on Clay-Per-View Friday and Saturday night. And I also must say, I must apologise for the Clay-Per-View footage on the second part of Saturday. Doofus me on the camera had a cover over it because of the rain, and I couldn't see that we had the camera on the wrong settings. So the footage for the A main final was just a slight bit darker than what it should have been. So I do apologise for that. That was my stuff up. But we have rectified that, and it will not happen again. But you can.
Oh,
You
I didn't
still
want to watch that one anyway, mate. I wasn't in it.
Yeah, it just the footage was a little bit dark, and it was quite hard to see on the back straight. The front straight and the corners were fine, but the back straight was quite dark. But that was my fault. I do apologise. Like I said, we had a cover on the camera, and I couldn't see that the ND filter was on the camera, so that made it a bit darker. But we have rectified that, and we will make sure that that does not happen again. But just goes to show that we are just human. We are on Clayview this weekend, but like I said, make sure you get to the track because, mate, 13 of the best from the mainland versus the best in Australia here in Tasmania. I don't care what anyone says. We have the best super sedan drivers in Tasmania, I think, with the amount of cars we have.
I believe that's true. Like, the calibre of the races that are here, the guys that are driving cars here is, they can go anywhere in racing Australia and run a minimum top 5.
We're pretty lucky. We're pretty lucky. We have 8 rounds of the Tas Auto Shots Media Super Sedan Series, and to me, it's an Australian title every weekend. It's just great to have these drivers down here, and you know, big shout out to Steve Latham and Nathan Howes for getting this division back to where it should be. You know,
absolutely. They put in a massive effort. Those guys.
Yeah. And that's another name. Really Steve Latham's got to be due. You know, he's due for a big win too. So you know, there's so many big names to get out and watch this weekend. I think Friday night we have 3 rounds of heats and an odds and evens final. And then on the Saturday night we have another round of heats, a pole shuffle, and then into the A main final. I don't know.
I think they've got a B main.
I was about to say, will they have a B main with the amount of
I'm
cars
pretty
we have?
sure I read that there was a B main.
Yep.
I could be wrong.
Yep.
I hope they have, because that's probably where I'll be. I'm hoping.
Yep. No, you want to be in the A main, Jacob.
No, I know. At least I'll get that another race.
Use that to transfer. Smart move.
Yeah, I was just talking about doing laps for me, like I said before. It's the more racing I can do, the better.
Yep. Seat time, mate, it's a big thing, and they wonder why Callum's so good. And I spoke to him here last year, I think it was, when he was doing a lot of mainland trips. And I think in one season he done 94 events.
Yeah, that's wild, isn't it?
No wonder you're so good of a driver when you're doing 94 events a season. You know, seat time is a big thing.
And then plus running 2 cars.
Yeah.
That's just like a weekend when they ran the supers and the late models down here. We done probably 50 or 60 laps for the night. He's done 100 or 120.
Yeah. And still looks like he could do another 100. You know?
It
doesn't even worry him.
It
doesn't
but
worry
that's
him.
also too comes back to the car setup and everything like that, just to make it so much easier for him to drive. He doesn't have to work hard on the car either.
No, he's got.
That's one of the things I noticed where we sit in the commentary box at Latrobe. You looking down as people are coming out of turn 4, and turn 4 tightens up. You see a lot of drivers working at the wheel like this. Cal's just like, arm on the window, cruise. You know, you'd swear he's going down to the shops, but he's in a hurry to get to the shops before they close.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Jacob, are you a one arm person driver, steerer, or a 2-hand person?
To be honest, I'm pretty sure I keep turns, but I can't tell you because I don't have time to think.
I blew out.
That'll happen.
I've put GoPros in a couple of the super sedans over the years, and Nathan Howe's one, and Luke Gunn was another. And the only time they've got their hands, their right hand on the steering wheel is when they go down the straight. It amazes me. They go around the corner steering with just one hand.
Maybe that's what I'm going wrong.
Well, it could be. I'm not saying change it. But I asked them why, and they said it's because their right elbow keeps hitting the chassis, or it'll end up getting them in the guts all the time when they turn the corner. I went, yeah, well, that's fair enough, but to drive them one-handed in the corners, like that's crazy. Like, so you know, it's not as easy as what people, you know, they see it on the bank. Oh yeah, they're just driving around the track, but have a look at some of my GoPro footage from Luke Gunn and Nathan Howe. Actually, Nathan Howe, he puts his hand up like that, which he literally puts it. It blows me out. I actually said to him, I said, "Are you not telling us something, Nathan, with the way you put that hand up in the air like that?" But he didn't know what to say. But,
I'll put my hand up in the air and wave to the kids and that when we're going around doing track packer, but that's it.
Yeah. No, Cool.
We'll wave back to you, Jake.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, we will, mate. Before we go, Jacob, you don't do this by yourself. You've got a lot of people out there, I gather, that help you out, and sponsors
Absolutely,
and that.
mate.
So here's your chance to shout out, mate, before we call it a night.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it, guys. First off, I'd like to say thanks to my wife and kids for letting me travel on this little midlife crisis.
That's one way of putting it.
I really couldn't do it without the support from them. Like it takes up a lot of time, and as we all know, it does. But and not only that, Mum and Dad, they've been coming along. Mum's starting to sort of drill into it now and starting to get excited about coming. Dad's sort of always been there since I started, and he's been putting a ton of time into the car with me. QB, one of my best mates, Cody, Dazza, who's just literally finished welding the car up for me an hour ago. Snags and Des and Chris and Macca, Nika and Dion. Hey, we can't do this without the help that we get. So, and not only that, like all the guys here at work, like I've got my own business. I'm currently building a subdivision at the moment, and when I get this little addiction, when I've got to go race car driving, someone's got to hold the fort down here, and that's Kirby, who works for me. She keeps everything rolling, and Dion, they keep things happening here for me if I've got to sneak off on a Friday. And all the
Which
sponsors
will happen this week.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly, like last week and this week. Amira is my major sponsor. They've been amazing. Master Roofing, Taz Civil Products, Norfolk Mitre 10, Line Lock Creative, which is Cody. He done the wrap on my car and done a pretty good job on it, I thought. The Bushing Hotel, DHC, who's Dion Hay Contracting, Smart Tax, Granted Tree Services, Rowan Collins Building, Nathan Rowland's Tree Services, and not only that, like all our series sponsors, but what they put into our series is an amazing help for all the guys, and it gets the guys to the track with the prize monies and all that sort of stuff. It's a pretty big help. Taz Auto Shots, they're what they do for us as well, especially Angry Man as well. All his photos and that he gets of it. I was looking at them today when he put them up. It's pretty amazing what he gets done. And I think also too, I think Chris touched on it a little last week, like the volunteers and the officials. I really, in my personal opinion anyway, I really don't think they get recognised enough. I know we all say thank you to them and all that sort of stuff, but I think there's got to be something a little bit there for them, because if they're not at the track, we can't go racing.
No, that's right.
And majority of them are just giving up their own time, and they don't get a whole lot back.
Occasionally they can't get a lot back, but it's usually flack.
Yeah, exactly.
The decision hasn't gone a driver's way.
And it is really difficult for those guys to give up all their time. I'd imagine they've been doing it for years, because it's not normally newcomers that come and do it. It's people that have been doing it for year on end, years and years. So I'd just like to say a big thank you to those guys, because we really do appreciate it. And I think a lot of the drivers should, when they get a chance, don't have to do it in front of anybody or anything like that, but if you get a chance, just walk up and say, look, thanks for doing what you do for us. And that'll go a long way with people. It's just little words, essentially. And try and be patient with them as well. That's a big thing. And that's it for me. I think it's, let's just try and be nice to each other, try and keep our own paint on our own cars for as long as we can.
Yep.
I know we're racing fast cars, racing, I guess I say. And let's have at it.
Yep. No,
And there's some big money up for grabs, and that usually...
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and that entices a lot of people to, dive up in a hole, or they might be behind someone that's a bit slower and they need to get through there, and you just poke your nose up in there, and that's just part of racing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for all those people out there, Jake, what business do you own, mate? So they can look you up and know if they need
I own a small little company called West Civil Construction Excavations. We've been around for about 6 years, and was just a pretty small little two-man band show for quite a while. And here, about 18 months ago, we took on a pretty substantial project, and that's held us in pretty good stead for the last 18 months. been pretty stressful, but that's part of owning a business. And Kirby, one of my employees, who's actually a relation of mine, she came on to work for me full time and literally halved my headache, which is really good. She gained half a headache, but I lost half. So yeah, it's been really good.
Yep. And a big thanks to you, Jake. I know you sponsor a lot of cars and you do a lot for Speedway in Tasmania, so a big thanks to you for what you do. Without people like you, we can't go racing. So, thank you for what you do for our sport as well.
Yeah, no stress, mate. Like I said, it's an absolute full-on addiction for me now. So I do what I can to help anyone out. If I had to, well, I would even talking to Brad about it. I can't wait to get over there and watch Brad if he does end up going to the Australian title. I just cannot wait to get over there and help and help him try and get through it. It'll be an awesome time.
Yeah, we've got some good times ahead for Super Sedan racing in Tasmania and Australia. It's going to be awesome.
I think it's only going to get bigger for next year. Like, we've got the Australian title here next year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you watch everyone buy super sedans that haven't got them this year and then sell them straight after the Australian title, because that's normally what happens.
Yeah. So I think even young Harley Croft.
Yep.
I get a feeling that he's gearing up to get full-time super.
Yep.
He's done a proving job in his Tassie 6 running around super with a small engine and just putting race rubber on it. So I think he's gearing up for the Australian title, which. Yep. Like, he's a good driver. The proof's in the pudding with his driving.
Yeah, you can definitely wheel it right. To keep Callum Harpier behind you in a 6-cylinder Tassie 6 with race rubber on it is no easy feat. And he did that for a few laps there at Carrick that night. I was quite surprised.
That was my first run at Carrick.
Yep.
That night.
Yeah, all these new upcoming talented drivers our sport's just getting better and better every year in Tassie.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Great to see.
Definitely.
All right, stick with us, Jacob. We'll knock off the show and we'll have a bit more of a yak. But best of luck on the weekend. We hope it all goes well. I know it's not going to be easy. We've got some big drivers out there, and this being your first season. But what a great learning curve it's going to be for you. And we hope it all goes well on the weekend and you get into that A main. I will definitely be cheering for you from up on the tower, mate.
I think we both will be. Just before we go, I'd like to pass on condolences to Stridey on the loss of his mum this week.
Yes.
Sadly, she passed away at the dear old age of 91.
Yep.
Good innings. So condolences to Stridey from all the Slingin Dirt crew.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, condolences there to Stridey.
Yeah, buddy.
And also, one other thing before we go, we are going to draw the winner of our competition next week. Now, we haven't said much about this the last couple of weeks. I near forgot about it again, Rookie. But what is our competition, mate?
Well, you've got to put your best Speedway road trip story in one of the comments, and you win a 9 to 5 driving course. It's valued at $149. It's a 2-hour course at either Simmons Plains or Baskerville. It's a great defensive, practical driver training course. People love it. They get the opportunity to do some laps on Simmons Plains and Baskerville as well. So
how good
it's not to be sneezed at.
How good is that? And for your information, we have only one entrant so far. So,
and I know there's a lot of people out there with some pretty crazy road trip stories. Des Gallagher's got one.
Yeah,
I've got one.
He broke down on the way to the track, but let's not cover that tonight.
I've got a few too, but
we'll let that rest.
I've got a few too, but I don't know whether they're friendly enough to put on Facebook.
Well, I've got a few of the late Morris Jones.
Yeah. Nah, awesome. Thanks for joining us again tonight, Rocky. We will see you at the track on Friday and Saturday night. Best of luck again, Jacob. Do yourself a favour this weekend, people. Get your butts to that track and watch the best Super Sedan drivers in Australia do battle for the 2026 Super Sedan Grand Prix at Gulf, Western and Independent Oils Raceway at Latrobe. Like I said, racing starts at 6 o'clock. Gates open at 3 both nights. So do yourself a favour, get to the track and support your local raceway, because like I said, without you people, we can't do this. And honestly, you should be there, because the field that we've got this weekend, you would not get a better field than an Australian title. So it's like a mini Australian title this weekend. So make sure you're there. Anyway, thanks.
better than Australian title because it's got more prize money.
Yeah, true, it has. Yes, yes, definitely has. And they'll put on a great show. They certainly will. It'll be awesome racing.
You
Anyway,
convinced me. I'm going.
I'm going for sure, and Jake is too. So there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, awesome. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. And yeah, get your entries in for the competition below in the comments or on YouTube in the comments. We will draw the winner next week. And like I said, we only have one entrance so far. So now's the chance if you want to get around Simmons Plains for a few laps. That'll be awesome. Anyway, good night, everyone. Best of luck to all the Super Sedan drivers this weekend. We hope the best man wins and we have some good, clean racing and we don't have any bin cars like we did last week. But let's go racing this weekend. And for everyone else out there, good night and we'll see you next week.
No worries, guys. See you there.
So.